Drink it in, man.
Touchdown, Detroit Lions! Cornbread! Cornbread! Cornbread!
Drink it in, man.
Touchdown, Detroit Lions! Touchdown, Detroit Lions!
Jewelry isn't a gift you give just once. It's a way to remind your loved one of a beautiful moment every time they see it. Blue Nile can help you find the gift that says how you feel and says it beautifully, with expert guidance and a wide assortment of jewelry of the highest quality at the best price. Go to BlueNile.com and experience the convenience of shopping Blue Nile, the original online jeweler since 1999. That's BlueNile.com to find the perfect jewelry gift for any occasion. BlueNile.com.
Detroit Koolaid drinkers, is your boy Okri. I am interrupting our regularly scheduled program before it even gets started. We got breaking news, people. For the people. You probably heard I actually recorded the show a little bit earlier. Life's been hectic. But as soon as I hit stop, before you knew it, Jared Goff signed a 4-year, $212 million extension with the Detroit Lions, $170 million guaranteed, average of $53 million when you do the math. I'm looking here in 2024, Goff's still going to earn his base of 22.3 with a $5 million roster bonus and a cap hit of 32.3. It's crazy. The numbers are crazy. I knew they would be when they came out. A lot of you saw me put a quick tweet out. You've heard that I'm no longer, let's put it that way, I'm no longer kind of against Jared Goff. I'm on the hashtag Goff train. Yes, you can call it a bit of a backpedal, if you will. I'm still upset by the wobbly spirals, the turnovers at times, the California laid-back attitude. But hey, he wins ball games. His teammates love him. He wins here in Detroit. He puts up numbers. He looks the part. He's a weathered vet that we already knows the playbook backwards and forwards and can do a whole bunch of things. So, this is a great day on so many levels. I think I saw a poll on 97.1 where it was like approval rating. It was like 86% approve, 14% disapprove because they think it's too much. And, This is just a breaking segment. Again, you guys are going to hear my full show where I break down the NFC North and draft classes and all that for this week is what we're up to. But next week we'll do schedule reviews, more on the Goff extension, more on where this team is at. Dollars make sense. We'll break it all down. But I had to jump on here and at least get this in. And this is my quick take. It's no rant. It's no, I'm upset. It's the greatest thing ever. The main thing is you knew it was going to get done. Everyone in Detroit had decided Jared Goff had earned an extension. Some people wanted it to be 45, 46, 48. Other people were like, it's going to be 50, maybe north. It was north of 50, 53, to be quite honest. And that number still surprised me. I knew I would be surprised by the total. I understand quarterbacks get crazy money. I know the NFL salary cap goes up, but Jared Goff just... 4 or 5 years prior, signed a 4-year, $134 million deal. Now he signs a 212. It's like, I think this guy's going to be okay for the rest of time. Now, my biggest thing is you paid him, you paid Saint, you paid Penny, and Saint and Penne are cornerstones of this organization. Jared Goff is the signal caller. He's the quarterback. So you have to, if Brad Holmes, Dan Freaky Campbell had decided this is their man, just as most of Detroit and the state of Michigan had, then great, take care of him. If I didn't put it out on the old Twitter X machine, I definitely put it out on our fantasy football chat. I was just like, again, did I expect it? No, but it would have showed me a lot had Jared Goff said, man, I know you guys can cut 53, 50, whatever. I already got money. Like, cut me in at 45, 46, 48. Let's call it good, and let's get some ball players in here. Let's go win multiple Super Bowls. Now, same thing. If you pay him 53 and he wins a Super Bowl this season or next season or both of those seasons or the 3 seasons coming up, I'm good. That pays for his whole contract, so we will be able to die happy people. We will be excited Lions fans. I didn't fill up your Kool-Aid glass here in this breaking news segment, but can we drink it in, everybody?
Drink it in, man.
Double-sided cornbread on that for sure.
Cornbread.
Because everyone will be good with that. Now, you take a little less, you add a couple ball players that might accelerate that process, but obviously, Jared Goff is ready to roll. He loves his players on offense. They've been rolling the last couple years. I can't really see a big drop-off. The ultimate baller, big move, okey-doke, whoopsie-doo would have been Brad, always open for business, Holmes, bringing this guy in, letting him do this work for 3 years, getting all this positivity, all this love, stringing it out, and then ultimately not being able to get a deal done, handing it over to H2O, Hendon Hooker. Hendon Hooker then doing similar things to Jared Goff at $3, $4, $6 million, whatever his deal is for the next 3 years. And that offense just keeps on rolling. Very risky. very risky. Very dangerous if you were to pull that type of move. I actually thought it was possible with all of this rumor innuendo and all the stuff we're hearing and how much everybody was aboard the Goff train. You guys know we have the drop. All of you were saying this. I was still a little bit like, could he do this and change the salary structure of this team for years and maybe even a decade by going to Hendon Hooker in a bold, maybe brilliant, maybe catastrophic move? Brad Holmes is smarter than me. He's better than me. He drafts better than me. He's superior to me in all ways. And his choice was to just not get worse or not get even at quarterback, whether the dollars are different or not, to pay the quarterback that's producing, to keep this train, pun intended, rolling, and to keep this team winning. So I'm good with it. Of course, you knew I was going to come on here with a couple side things to think about. What Hendon Hooker makes is peanuts. What Jared Goff got paid is absolute top of the market quarterback money. Even if you tell me, but Hooker, in a few weeks, in a few years, he's going to be bypassed. I get it. I still don't totally understand why the NFL can pay people what 3-4 years ago was 20-ish million to play quarterback, and now it's 50, 53, 55, 58, 60, 65. When's it going to stop? At some point it has to stop, unless we're going to get paid in all of our jobs multi-exponential raises every year just because the world said so. It's just crazy to me. But I think Jared Goff's going to have a tremendous 2024. I think all of his teammates will be happy for them, even though he does kind of make double what Penne and Saint and triple and quadruple what all the other dogs on this team make. But he's the quarterback. He has to produce. He has to lead the team. He has to do his thing. And I'm all for that. I'm gonna ride the train. I'm gonna support the guy. I'm gonna know that, hey, if he's hurt, we at least got a ball player, in my opinion, and Hendon Hooker just waiting there to do his thing. And it's a good day for Lions fans, Detroit Koolaid drinkers, listeners of this show. And I know one guy that's happy. You guys have heard the hashtag choppy haha recently at the end of a show or two. I mean, this guy is laughing all the way to the bank. He said it since day one. This guy told you better get on the golf train or else.
You don't get to join the golf train. You're off, bro. You're off.
And he stuck to it. Eventually, after this guy kept winning, I had to say this.
Yeah, I understand. I got it in my head, dude.
I'm going to board the golf train if there's still seats available. He continued to win. He won in the playoffs. He beat Matt Stafford head up and got us to the NFC Championship game. And then unfortunately, the rest of the team, along with him and others, crumbled, and we fell one short game of the Super Bowl and possibly a world championship. But that's still to come, everybody. So happy day, crazy money. All of you are happy. I'm excited. I thought they might still pull the okie doke. That's obviously not happening. Keep Hendon Hooker here. Let Jared Goff play. If an injury were covered, if not, let him roll. Let him ball. I'd like him to tighten up the spirals. I wish the money would have been a little bit less. It is what it is. It's not my money, so who cares? And we have our quarterback for 2024, 2025, 2026, 2027, 2028, where he'll only be 34 years old, and we will reassess at that point. I expect lots of winning, lots of Detroit Koolaid, lots of cornbread, lots of excitement, lots of trophies to be raised, hopefully in that time frame, especially based on the price tag. So had to get my thoughts in. Jared Goff extended. Buco Bucks. The Bula Bula is over. The golf train is rolling. All steam ahead as it has been. I'm on board. Everybody's on board. Let's sling the ball. Let's score a lot of points, play defense, cover a coffee table, and win ball games. Everybody, that's your Oakry breaking news. Jared Goff signing news. Now back to our regularly scheduled program right here on the Detroit Koolaid Cast. You guys know what it is. Let's go. Detroit Koolaid. Detroit Koolaid. Drinkers, what's going on, everybody?
Drink it in, man.
Side of cornbread.
Cornbread!
Gotta make it a double.
Cornbread!
I'm your host, Derek Oakry, right here on the Detroit Koolaid Cast, and I'm coming at you because we got lots of Lions stuff to talk about. I know people will think it's off-season, this, that, and the other, but there's still so much to get into. Last couple weeks, you know, gosh, what was it? It was draft weekend. We got to do tons of hours of content. Me and Chops in the D just talking ball, making picks. Just love what Brad Holmes did again in the draft. Last couple weeks, you know, been reviewing that, talking all about it. And that's going to continue this week because by the time you guys hear this, we'll be about a day away from the schedule release. So the following week, you know, we'll get into where the Lions are playing, when they're playing, who they're playing, what we're excited about, what we're not. But this schedule, you know, is going to be another fun one for this football team. They got a great team coming back, a lot of indoor games. So we'll get into all that. But I thought on today's show, you guys seem to like, you know, keeping the show a little bit tighter and some different changes. So I want to go through the NFC North division, kind of their drafts, the grades, talk about why the Lions are superior based on what Brad Holmes did. And of course, the more you see the Lions draft picks, the more you love them, right? The first day is kind of like, maybe, I don't know, certain picks, and then you're just like, oh, I love this guy for so many reasons. So we'll get into all that, give you some good picks, some bad picks, some maybes, some guys that might be tough for the Lions to deal with on other teams, draft picks that are getting a lot of hype that I'm not too worried about, all that type of stuff here on the show. So let's not mess around. Let's get right into it. Let's start out with Chicago at Joey Sports Guy's team. I mean, the number one pick. Lots of, you know, rumor innuendo, lots of hubbub, hearsay. I mean, hype, excitement for this football team. I mean, I've heard the Chicago Bears said to be the greatest situation for a rookie quarterback of all time. I mean, I don't know. Let's get into it. So they take Caleb Williams, number one. To me, Caleb Williams is a big, talented athlete. He's very quirky personality. I don't know about his leadership. It feels like a guy that's going to make some wow plays, going to make a lot of what are you doing type of plays, have some buddies on the team, but I can't see him being like the ultimate alpha leader winner type of player. And people are just loving him up because he's got Keenan Allen, he's got DJ Moore, he's got DeAndre Swift. It's like, okay, you have a lot of weapons. If the Detroit Lions haven't shown you anything, it starts up front on the offensive and the defensive line, protecting your quarterback before you fill in all these fancy gadget players that you're going to get on the outside. So the fact that they just have a lot of these players, again, how's Keenan Allen going to do on that slop field that they call Soldier Field in Chicago? That's way to be seen. He's a route runner. It's a slip and slide out on that field, so good luck there. DJ Moore made some plays last year, but he's not a world beater. Let's say that right now. Caleb Williams can run it a little bit. I've always liked DeAndre Swizzle, Shifty, Swifty, as we call him. But, again, another player that needs a lot of space, needs a lot of ability, needs a good O-line to get him yards before contact, that type of thing. So, I'm not too worried about that. And then they double dip with Rome Odunze at 9. And this is just what I can't understand. It looks good on paper. People get all excited about it. I love Rome Odunze as a football player, as a wide receiver. But the fact that you're just going to get a quarterback, another wideout, and think, oh, we're good. We're going to high fly. We're going to score all these points. We still can't block. Still can't tackle. Still can't get after the quarterback. Still can't make plays in other areas of our team. It's a flawed situation in my book. There are teams in the NFL that do this. They think they're just going to add these auxiliary players, I call them, and before they get the meat and potatoes, and think it's going to work. And it doesn't work. It just doesn't. So, nice big names up there in the top 10, but, you could have definitely added other areas. I think that would have been more sustainable long term. I do think Caleb Williams will be an ultimate bust. I think he'll be as I said before, a splash player, let's call it what it is. He'll be a kook when it comes to personality. He'll be, doing the paint in his nails. He'll do the odd interviews. He'll do all types of other things in the media that will just make you question this guy. I don't think he's going to ultimately win big, and that's really what wins you over in the fans and the league's eyes if you win ball games. And Caleb Williams is going to, win games he shouldn't win. He's going to lose games that he should win. He's going to crumble late. He's going to have some comebacks. It's going to be a total mixed bag with this guy. So, as you could tell, I'm not really on board on any level with this player. That's what I love so much about the Lions, man. They draft players, personalities, guys that love ball, guys that are just have outgoing personalities, but also get along with their teammates. That's why it's all gelling so well here in Detroit. So after that, the Bears went with the offensive tackle from Yale. No, I'm not going to try to pronounce the last name. Let's just go with Kyron, as his first name, the offensive tackle from Yale. This guy was a 2-3 round type of player. Obviously, I like the kid from BYU that had some Penei Sewell ties, much better. But they did at least try to address the offensive line. But then at pick 122, they go ahead and take a punter. What's 122? That's like the fourth round, early fourth round. Come on. You can't do that. Don't tell me, it's the Iowa punter. This guy's a star. No, you don't draft specialists in the NFL draft. You don't take kickers, punters, fullbacks, H-backs, long snappers. You don't do it. And so the Bears taking that in the premium third, fourth round range is ridiculous. And then they go ahead and get this defensive end, Austin Booker, at 144. I heard some hype, but it's like, okay, you got one edge rusher, you paid Sweat buco bucks, and now you think your defense is fixed. All right, get back to me on that, Chicago. But, this publication that I'm looking at right here that did some of these grades, they gave the Bears an A-. An A-. minus. Like, I mean, do you guys out there think that's a good decision? Because I don't.
It's a bad decision. Period, point blank. It was one of the dumbest decisions I ever made.
That's what I think of that overall grade. He goes day 1 A, day 2 A minus, day 3 where they drafted a punter highly, and then an edge rusher a B minus. All right. A lot of people are projecting the Chicago Bears to be this big improved team, and they're going to do this and they're going to do that. I mean, again, I don't see it. I see them struggling once again in lots of facets of football, having some exciting moments that are fleeting, and then seeing the Chicago Bears come in around. I give them about 6 wins, is kind of where I'm at. We'll get into the schedule predictions once that comes out and have a lot of fun with that. But before we get to our commercial break, let's go ahead and get here to the Detroit Lions. I just want to get them in here in the early segment because this publication gave the Lions a B. They gave their day 1 grade where they got Terrion Arnold and Enos Rakestraw Jr., 2 top 50 type players at positions of need. They gave that a B+. They gave the Lions on day 2 a B, where they drafted a project offensive tackle and a safety turned running back. They gave that a B, and they gave day 3, where we got Mekhi Wingo, who's a pass rush specialist, alpha leader, and Christian Mahogany, who went about 150 picks too late, a B minus. So, I mean, I don't know what to say about these grades that people are giving out, but you guys have heard my reviews of the Lions picks. You've heard my picks. You heard me say why I love them so much on the last show. I mean, how are you giving this draft a B? I mean, now that, like, Terrion Arnold and Rakestraw are just ball players. They're just plug and play, grow them in, let them go type guys. Gio Manu, number 59, picked at 126 from British Columbia, who nobody had ranked and nobody had video of. Looks like an absolute specimen in the jersey, in his cutoff shirt, in his shorts. He's got a great mentality. I think I saw a quote last week that said, I'm trying to take care of anybody that's in front of me, because if you're better than me, you're taking food off my plate. You're taking food from my family. This guy wants to be the next Penei Sewell. He said he dreams of him on the left side, Penei on the right. Like, good luck dealing with these two big nasties. Now, you guys have heard my trepidation about Gio Manu. You see guys like this get picked that are just big, and they're projected based on size, and we're going to coach them up, and then 3 years down the road they never turn into anything and they wash out. I mean, this is the season where you just are all in on all these guys. You think that they can do no wrong, and they're going to do this, they're going to do that, and then camp comes and they fade away a little bit. The hype fades away. So I think Gio Manu, from what I've seen since the draft, is a great project player for this team. Will he pan out? I think the opportunity for him to become an absolute dominant high-end tackle in this league is better than not. I do think that it may take a year, 2 years till you really, really see it, but I would expect him to be more of a productive starter than I would to wash out and be spraying down the shoes at the bowling alley. Now that I've seen what he's about, the type of size, this isn't a 350-pound slug. This guy's chiseled up. He looks the part. He says the right things. He wants to do well. He's going to not let a guy like Penei Sewell down and just be, not working hard, not doing his thing. That's first and foremost. Them just loving Vaki so much at running back is still a little questionable for me, because we already got 2 studs at running back. You seem like you'd be good there. You're like, well, who do they got behind him? Come on, Craig. You do that game. Yeah, like, I love Craig Reynolds. I realize he's kind of been a bit player for the last couple of years, but to me, Vaki is everything you want in a no-nonsense, hard-working football player, but I still don't get the fact why they love him so much as a, quote, running back. I like him much more as a gadget player, return specialist, special teams demon, just guy you can do a lot with on offense rather than just handing him the football. But I mean, if you get one injury to Demo or Jahmyr Gibbs, who, in case you didn't know, is a multi-dimensional, positionless, wait for it, elite weapon. I mean, you get an injury to one of those guys, yeah, Vaki can run the football and be helpful for you, but I think he's going to do fun things when it comes to gadgets, other offensive aspects. You got Mekhi Wingo, who I saw an interview from him the other day, and what a great guy. I mean, great personality, high energy, seems to be just everything you look for, knows that he's a little bit smaller when it comes to height, 6'1", whatever he is, 285, 290 some pounds, but hey, he knows that he can get after the quarterback. I hear he's playing out on the edge a little bit, inside, whatever it may be. Like, I love what I saw from Mekhi Wingo. And then Christian Mahogany said all the right things too. Hey, I want to come in here, work hard, learn from everybody, see myself as a starter, see myself as a guy that can bully people. Got a lot of nice tats. I think I saw he's got a double dot nose ring on both sides. He's this guy's a personality, a football player, a nasty individual, a guy that, I don't see him getting much run this year, but he could easily plug in, I'd say, probably on I'm trying to remember where he played in college. I don't know that I have it right in front of me if he was a right guard or left. It's escaping me right now, but wherever he played in college, whether Zeitler kind of just fades off after a one-year stint here in Detroit, or if Glasgow sort of is able to move around and fit whatever this kid doesn't do well, Glasgow can fit in kind of anywhere on this team. But it's another great pick. So these like low B grades, I mean, and you're giving the Bears an A, I don't know about all that. So really excited about the Lions draft. Those Terrion Arnold is such a DAWG and such a star when it comes to personality and what he brings. Enos Rakestraw is no joke. This guy does not play. He will hit you. He will tackle. He's determined. He's a little bit slighter, but it doesn't matter because he will pop you. I love this guy. And then all the other guys I already talked quite a bit about. So that's the Lions draft. Let's go ahead and take a break, get our great sponsors in here. When we come back, get into the cheddar heads, the mozzarella sticks, those Gorgonzola cheese lovers from Green Bay, Wisconsin. We'll talk about them. They're getting a whole lot of love, both in the draft, about their quarterback, a whole bunch of other things. And then we'll finish with the Minnesota Vikings, the J.J. McCarthy, soon-to-be-led Minnesota Vikings, and so much more Lions talk as we keep this thing rolling. NFC North Draft Review Edition right here. I'm your host, Derek Oakery. Hit me up on Twitter, @Derek Oakery. Lions talk, fantasy football, Michigan Wolverines, anything else in between. Everybody, please listen to our sponsors. It really helps us out. Please share the show. And we'll be right back after this talking more Lions.
This episode is supported by FX's Clipped, the scandalous story of the 2014 Clippers owner's racist remarks captured on tape and heard around the world. The series charts the tape's impact on a dysfunctional basketball organization striving to win against their reputation as the most cursed team in the league. Starring Lawrence Fishburne, Jackie Weaver, Cleopatra Coleman, and Ed O'Neill. FX's Clipped. Streaming June 4th, only on Hulu.
All right, everybody. this goes out to my fantasy football fans out there. Now, you probably heard about Reality Sports Online, the most powerful fantasy sports platform where owners can build and manage their fantasy team like a real NFL general manager. But the question is, have you tried it? I mean, we're talking free agency, multi-year contracts, rookie drafts, multi-team trades. You can put franchise tags on guys. It's as close as you're going to get to being an NFL GM. But do you think it sounds complicated? It's not. I'm here to tell you it's the best thing about Reality Sports Online is it's just more fun than your normal fantasy league, but it doesn't take barely any more time. After all this, are you still not sure? I mean, come on now. You can test your general manager skills by going over to Reality Sports Online, call it RSO. Please go check out realitysportsonline.com right now. Kool-Aid drinkers, we're back. I didn't really give you a lot of sound drops, bits in the beginning, so I mean, we're back.
Oh, baby.
We could do better than that. We are back here on the Detroit Koolaid Cast.
Oh, baby.
Talking NFC Nort, talking draft, talking grades, talking football players. I mean, it's that time of year where everyone kind of is on that, hey, getting ready for summer, and hey, football is 100-some days away, but it'll be here before you know it. So it is fun to go through some of these grades. Again, just a quick shout out to all the loyal, diehard Detroit Kool-Aid drinkers that have been doing the 20 players per team slow draft that we do the last few years for Detroit Koolaid Cast. Get 20 of you listeners in there. Lots of intriguing picks, lots of interesting team building going on in that thing. I mean, lots of people battling for talent, so that's been fun. Doing a whole bunch of other things fantasy football wise, really trying to make that a bigger focus, both here on the media podcast side of things, but also on some other avenues of my life. I love fantasy football and the draft, and the reason is because we all know, unfortunately, that a lot of us won't be able to be an NFL GM or make picks or do draft boards, but hey, man, you get deep enough into fantasy football, that's about as close as you're going to get, and it's really fun to be able to evaluate these players, stack a board, make picks. There's really nothing better than when you get to be on the clock, have some time to evaluate, and then turn that pick in for a guy that's going to be on your team come the fall. So I love all that from top to bottom, maybe doing some new writing and who knows what, some more content type things, let's put it that way, when it comes to fantasy football, NFL draft, and all things in between. And just thank you for listening to our sponsors. We always try to shout out like our boy Notorious DET. He's making lots of good merch, doing shirts. Go check him out on Twitter at Notorious. Is it _DET? Notorious DET? You'll find him. You'll see what he is. And then we've got all the great sponsors like Spotify, PFF All 22 Fantasy Football, Reality Sports Online Fantasy Football. We've got just so many good sponsors that you'll hear when you go through those ads. And I know most people kind of fast forward through them, but when you listen to those, leave us a review, shout out the show, call up the Kool-Aid hotline, 989-272-3484, text in. You can also text into that number and leave a voicemail, an opinion, a question, whatever it may be. That all really helps out the show as well. But biggest thing is just enjoying the pod here, sharing it with a friend, and just whooping up these Lions, because we are still the hottest team in the National Football League. We are rolling into 2024, 2025 with a souped-up team, depth, explosive players on offense, improved defense. I just can't wait to see it. So thank you so much for listening, everybody. Let's get back into this. The NFC North draft grades. And I'm looking at this publication again. I don't even have where. I think this was NFL.com. Maybe maybe CBS. It doesn't even say right here, but what it does say is that the Packers, they gave a straight up B grade. And all I heard about the Packers draft was how good it was, how many good football players they got, how many needs they filled, all these players late that are going to be great. And it's like, I'm looking at it going, all right, you took Jordan Morgan at 25. Now, I heard some late buzz about Jordan Morgan that was positive, even that the Lions had interest. It's a big athletic player, can play either tackle spot, could shift inside probably if needed. He's intriguing, and like I said, I like it when teams beef up the trenches before they start messing around in all these other areas. So, I'm not going to totally write off the Jordan Morgan pick. Do I think there were probably better players they could have taken? Yeah, of course I do. I think I had them easily penciled in for Cooper DeJean or some players like that always seem to fit the Green Bay prototype, but they went ahead and took this offensive tackle, a little bit of a project, a little bit of a projection, but also has a lot of good traits to him. They come back at 45 and take Edgerrin Cooper, the linebacker, outside linebacker from Texas A&M. I mean, this guy was, LB1 for a lot of people. He's a run and hit outside type player. He has a lot of athleticism. Will he hold up? Will he be able to do what he did in the NFL? We'll wait and see. They did get another player I liked at 58, Javon Bullard. This is a safety type, but you could play him in the slot. You can move him nickel. You can move him around on your defense. He's got good ball skills. I mean, I like him. I also heard buzz about him with the Lions in round 2 type range. So, another guy, it's always a little disconcerting when teams in your division take guys that are on your short list. Then you got to watch them. You got to deal with them. If they're good, they hurt you. If they're no good, then you didn't look like you didn't know what you're talking about. So it's a tough one. And then they take Daniel Jeremiah's RB1 at 88, Marshawn Lloyd. DJ had him compared to DeAndre Swift. I mean, when I saw him in person and just in some other areas, he's a very thick, big type football player. I didn't see the shifty, swifty mold. I saw a little bit different of a player, but again, who am I to argue with DJ, Daniel Jeremiah? But Marshawn Lloyd could be nice, especially as a compliment piece for Josh Jacobs, but, we'll see what happens. As you go down their list, they took another linebacker from Mizzou, Dyron Hooper. Then they go Oregon DB Evan Williams, Duke center Jacob Monk, Oregon State DB Oladipo, Georgia State offensive tackle Travis Glover, Tulane quarterback Michael Pratt, and Penn State DB Kalen King at 255 to end their draft. So, again, I don't have a lot of hot takes on all those players. I heard a little bit of good stuff about Monk. Oladipo was a safety DB type that I had, seen in the later rounds. Michael Pratt is an intriguing quarterback prospect that you can bring along. But to me, when you have a somewhat young quarterback that you're pretty much all in on now, bringing in another guy so early into Jordan Love's tenure seems like a waste. But, of course, they can develop him behind the scenes, just like we're doing with Hendon Hooker. And in a pinch, you'd probably be better to go with Michael Pratt than who's the stiff they took from Penn State a year ago, or they just always one of those teams that takes a quarterback for whatever reason. And then Kalen King really fell off the NFL draft map, but had some moments in college, has some abilities, but will he tackle? Is he physical? Can he mirror and match? Can he play at the NFL level? That's TBD if you ask me, but I hope he doesn't play well because he's wearing that cheese head. This publication gave day 1 grade B, day 2 grade B, day 3 grade a B minus for the mozzarella sticks over there in Green Bay. So I think Green Bay has a good team. Don't get me wrong. I've always loved Josh Jacobs. He's a no-nonsense, nasty, hard-working type of guy. They've got some nice young receivers on the outside if they can stay healthy. Jordan Love is interesting. I'm not putting him in the Hall of Fame by any means, but he's got a quick, interesting release. He Showed some things last year. He's a guy that can really wing it around the yard. I loved what I saw from him when I watched him a couple times in college. Just what he did with his arms, legs, his ability to creatively play make when things break down. So I like him. Got some nice defensive players. I would expect Green Bay to be right in the mix in the division, and at least those top 4 or 5 selections are really, better than average is what I would say when it comes to those picks for the Green Bay Packers. Let's get over the Minnesota Vikings. This article here gave them a B+, or this data that I'm looking at. J.J. McCarthy at 10, Dallas Turner at 17, my boy Kyrie Jackson at 108. Then they go and take the offensive tackle Waller Rouse from Oklahoma, Alabama kicker at 203, Will Reichert, Wake Forest center Michael Juergens, and then at 232, Texas A&M Commerce defensive tackle Levi Drake Rodriguez. Please don't get Rodriguez confused with the sound drop. I mean, you guys know what it is, right? The sound drop. The Rodrigo sound drop.
Rodrigo!
That was a sound drop. Here's the live version. Rodrigo! Here's the drop.
Rodrigo!
I don't know what to think about Rodrigo these days. He's just kind of there. But I still like the guy, the player. But he's got some interesting, see if he can ever get back to kind of making plays, cracking the roster. But we got to like our linebackers. We got some nasty linebackers for sure. Anyway, back to Minnesota. So they took national championship winning J.J. McCarthy from the Michigan Wolverines up top. And, I hate it because I want J.J. McCarthy to do so well. But now that he's going to be in purple and playing for Minnesota, I want him to do not so well, especially when he plays the Lions. But J.J. McCarthy is a talent, man. He can throw the ball. He's a great guy. He can run. He's smart. He's a leader. He's the kindest soul you'll ever meet. He's got everything you look for when it comes to a leader and a guy that can play the quarterback position. I don't know why everyone, just because he didn't throw the ball much in college, like he was a top prospect coming out of IMG Academy. Every time he did throw it, he's throwing ropes all over the field. He can throw it deep. He can throw it intermediate. He can run any type of offense. He'll hand it off 20 times if you want. He doesn't care. I mean, I love this guy on so many levels. So I think they'll probably go with Sam Darnold to start, but soon enough, JJ will take his spot. And I could see JJ being like a game manager or a mid-level player to start. And then if he can get some mojo and has enough playmakers and they let him loose a little bit, I could see him being a nice, middle tier NFL quarterback with some juice to have some really nice games. Dallas Turner, to me, is a guy that got a lot of buzz, got a lot of name recognition, played at Alabama, but he slid down the draft board. This isn't a twitchy, bendy, nasty edge player. This is an outside backer edge guy that can get after you a little bit, but not a guy that I think is going to change the game. Of course, Minnesota needed those type of players because they got rid of Danielle Hunter and others. That their defense has just kind of been in total flux the last couple years. Kyrie Jackson to me is a nice find at 108. He's a long rangey 6'2", 200-pound, whatever he is, type of lanky corner from Oregon. Liked his tape, liked him in the second, third round when I was doing mocks, as you guys all know. Again, you really got to take a kicker at 203. I know we had lots of Lions fans. Oh, let's get a kicker. Like, these are lottery tickets, man. These are like, swing for the fences type 4-year, 5-year contracts that you get to take anyone you want, and you want a kicker at 203. I mean, there's much better ways you could use that resource. Again, the Minnesota offensive line, I couldn't tell you what they're doing there or who they got up front. They got 1 or 2 nice draft picks. The rest they're trying to piece together with super glue and probably more like Elmer's, to be honest. But, they're trying to add these centers and OTs again. And it's like, I just don't see him being that good up front. I don't see him being that good on defense. I see them having nice skill players when it comes to JJ, Addison, Hawkinson. Who's running the ball for them now? Aaron Jones and a whole bunch of nobodies. So I wish JJ the best. I wish the Vikings not the best. I think that, the Lions are going to be quite a bit better than the Vikings this year. I see it kind of going Lions, Packers, Vikings, Bears. Sorry, Joey Sports Guy, but it's true. I got you at 6 games. I got like the Vikings kind of in that middle ground of 7 to 9-ish games. Packers probably be in that, 9 to 10 games. And then you got the Lions, who will probably be in the 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 type win category when they really get it rolling. So, you know what I mean? They gave the Vikings here a day one A- because they got 2 big names and 2 highly viewed players, so of course they're going to get like a high grade there. Day 2 B+, day 3 B-, and part of these grades are like, we can't give anybody like D's, D-, F's. I swear, like all these grades are just like, hey, we don't think they did so well, so we'll give them a B-. I mean, just kind of throws your grading scale out the window, if you ask me. But getting back to the Lions to close out this pod, like, again, they added talent, they filled needs, but the biggest thing they did, and the reason you're going to love these players, the reason they're going to fit in so well, and the reason they're going to be so impactful on the football field, are the type of people they are. I mean, these guys are fun, they're good teammates, they're hard workers, they're smart, they can actually process the playbook and can do what they're asked to do on the football field. They can adjust week to week. They can, it's just, from Terrion Arnold to Rakestraw to Manu to Vaki to Wingo and then down to, like, you don't have one guy that I have the only questionable concern I would have is that Mahogany is too nasty. I could see him being too just nasty of a football player and getting himself in trouble or having, penalties on the field. But it's like, you just go up and down that list, man. You got not only guys that are going to be great off the field in the community, but I just don't see any flaws with them. Personally, I see them all being high-end, well-built athletes. I see them all being very intelligent, loving to be in Detroit, excited about their roles. You don't hear anybody hemming and hawing about, what they're going to play, where they got picked, how they fit on the team, what they're going to do. Is just, the Lions just draft people and players over rankings and needs and, guys that the media thought are good. They draft the guys they love. They draft guys that are going to fit in their locker room and they're going to fit their football team and that are ultimately going to make plays, which is really what matters when come game day and whatnot. So I couldn't be more fired up about this year, this football team, the future, but also the here and now. You're seeing a lot of buzz about the Lions top 5 Super Bowl odds. Oh, the Lions are going to be this, they're going to be that, they're going to do this, they're going to do that. I cannot wait to see the schedule come out because I guarantee we'll probably have some of the most primetime games. Yes, I can't wait to go to Dallas in primetime and get that lick back. Yes, I cannot wait to play San Francisco wherever, whenever. Yeah, NFC North, come to our house and we'll go to yours and we're going to win more games than not when it comes to the division. And there's just so many other good, there's going to be the whole Matty Staffy love fest and it's going to be extra love. I don't know if I'll be at that game because I was at the funeral of Matt Stafford in the playoffs where we sent him packing, him and that wife of his. But that was way more fun than the Love Fest going to be when he comes back, and it's all like tribute videos and pause the game. So like, I loved it that we just did him up in the playoffs when he thought he was just going to come in here, take us out, do whatever he wanted, then talk a bunch of bula after. Oh, I love Detroit. Oh, what a great game. What a fun one that was. Nope, he had to sit there and deal with that L in his Carhartt jacket with his hair all a mess. Oh, that was so fun on so many levels. What a tremendous day that was. Yes, it was like minus 34 outside, and we were outside for 12 to 15 hours that day, me and at Chops in the D. But shout out Santa, shout out Bo DeFrisco, many others that swung by the tailgate. But that was just an all-timer when it comes to Lions home playoff game against Matt Stafford, and we get that dubski, that big dubski. So everybody, that's what I got. Fired up about the Lions. Can't wait for the schedule release. Cannot wait for football to start. The rookies hit the field. Terrion Arnold was looking crispy clean in the old 0 white number 1 jersey. All the other guys looking good. The new jerseys could not look better on the practice field. They look great on NFL Shop, except for the dots or the holes on the numbers, which you've heard me mention. But our jerseys are looking crispy. Our team is looking ready. And more like the vets will be in soon. We'll have more hype about this team. I see Brad always open for business. Holmes dipping into that free agent pool, opening his pocketbook a little bit to get some things done. That'll get us even more excited. And then before you know it, football is here. Lions are rolling. New uniforms, new ball players, more dubskis, more victories. And we'll talk all about it right here on the Detroit Koolaid Cast. Take care, everybody. We're out.
Drink it in, drink it in, drink it in, man.
Pack the bags, start the plane. This game is over. It is over. What a comeback by the Lions.
Drink it in.